For this stage, I was going to show the development of the initial transition and the finished email client pretty much. It's just a text editing function to put down the bottom down there. I'll play you it first so you can see how it works, and then I'll go through different functions that are now there. As a start, the icon bar in the top left-hand corner has been put in, as you can see, up here, with just a couple of them working at the moment. And that will eventually be the search bar, once it's actually got text editing functions. For now, all the arrows now work. You can cycle through them all, and they'll have the bounces at the bottoms and the tops. There's one tiny error, which is with the arrow up here, which I'll show in a second. If you were to move into the second image, which would be the messenger client, and you click on that, it resets the text areas, and then it fades everything out bit by bit. They're all linked in a kind of fashion. So some are on the timeline, some are linked to the alpha levels of their content area. So for instance, the arrows, as you can see, the arrows that appear here and here, they're linked to this big content area here. So when the content area here is opacity equals 0, the arrows fade out. Very simple to do, quite nice functionality. One problem I did have was with the text, is it was fine normally, but if you scrolled through like that into the middle, so you wasn't at the top of the text area, and you click to go to the next page, the text would hang there and then suddenly vanish and it wouldn't reset. So what I did was I set a function in, which I'll explain in a second, which makes it invisible, which automatically resets itself to make it visible again because it's at the time when it should be visible, which resets it back to the top of the list in its natural position, which does this. See, it resets back up to the top of the line and then fades out. And it keeps nice smoothness with everything else. Put it back in again. The one error that's still in this version, which is still to be fixed, is the arrows here, how they disappear. I had a lot of trouble with these arrows making them disappear properly. One function is, up there, if you go above or below a certain point, the arrows are set to disappear. So that if the text here is of a different, the text here is of the wrong height, it's too small for the text area, the arrows fade themselves out, and I changed the function that works with that. The function that works with those now is, should go on here. Scroll down a little bit. Obviously it's getting quite bulky in Flash, but when you look at it in the actual web browser, it's not that bad anymore. Up here is where it is. Whereas on this one it says visible equals false, visible equals false. It works out the height. The one at the top I changed to work by playing the frames just to test that out as a fading method. That doesn't actually work as well as I'd hoped it would. But it was still there as a test that I was going to write about first, document. The bit that makes the arrows fade out towards the end is down here. It works, the content area is 6, which is the grey content area here. When that equals 0, it just plays the arrow from frame 10, which, if you just double click on the arrow, you can see it's got its own little timeline inside the movie clip, which you can see up top here. Okay. It initially plays it, and as you can see it's invisible down there. When you get through to the middle part, it is actually 100% opacity. It fades out towards the end. And then frame 21 is a complete, it's just gone. It's taken off the frame so that it's unclickable completely, which is something I'm going to keep experimenting with to try and get that function working fully. The next phase is obviously to create the content areas for the messenger client and work on the transition through thoroughly into there and then back out at the end.